Hello, and thank you for joining us here at Ceresys for yet another episode of Talking Freight, the weekly freight and transportation management series where we talk about best practices, tips, trends, and ways to more effectively manage freight spend and transportation process. In today's Talking Freight episode, we continue our full truckload series. Look into the description of this video for a link to view a playlist of all of our full truckload videos so you don't miss a single tip in the series and you can master the full truckload mode. Don't see the link in the description? You can also wait till the end of this video and there'll be a handy spot where you can find a link right at the end to go to that playlist. Now, poor visibility in freight allocation is a leading reason shippers experience difficulty in managing freight. And this problem is evidence of a disconnect between the person managing freight and company stakeholders. The problem goes much further than that, including lacking compliance management, subpar, if any, use of a TMS or transportation management system, and failure to utilize granular shipment activity data. Shipment data granularity and analysis are linked with better freight allocation, which means making use of the full spectrum of available shipping options, including full truckloads. All right, so let's talk full truckload freight allocation. First, what's the problem? Well, shippers lack an understanding of existing freight allocation, or also called freight planning activities. To understand the problems behind poor freight allocation, it is important to consider its literal and its perceived definitions. Freight allocation's denotation is the actual freight planning process, as well as planning individual pallets to make best use of available space. Space used should always include vertical space, increasing pallet height, which opens up additional capacity in all shipments. Yet, the problem remains. Shippers need to be able to fill an entire truckload. In previous years, freight allocation was simpler. Shippers could hold freight at a given location until enough freight was ready for shipment. In the modern era, considering Amazon's same-day and next-day delivery options, such freight planning would be counterproductive. Consumers will shop elsewhere, and the same fact holds true for consumers presented with unexpected shipping costs. Specifically, up to 56% of consumers will abandon online order purchases if presented with a shipping charge. Unfortunately, shippers see this problem as a reason to build shipping costs directly into price points. Higher prices will also result in consumers jumping ship too. The only solution lies in taking advantage of the most cost-effective shipping solutions available by gaining an understanding of freight allocation, including both planning and spend. Now, we've just outlined the problem with freight allocation, but what's the solution? Well, shippers should implement processes and systems to ensure the use of cost-effective shipping options. Actual freight spend includes all necessary components for pickup, cross-docking, transportation, line haul, consumer pickup, if available, and last-mile delivery. The only portion of the shipping journey that requires smaller LTL shipping is last-mile delivery, not shipments traversing the country or continent on a full truck. Shippers should implement processes and systems that generate granular data and actionable insights from analytics. Fortunately, this solution exists within a modern TMS. Seeing your most profitable and costly shipping destinations and origins enable true freight allocations. In other words, you can make the best decision for the consumer, carrier, driver, and the company itself. So, proper freight allocation comes with significant benefit to shippers, carriers, and drivers alike. Vigilant shippers have an opportunity to use knowledge about destinations and origins to reduce freight spend and improve customer service. Customers see returns in the form of lower price points and potentially free or lower cost shipping. Shippers realize benefits of freight allocation, including the following: decreased risk or damage or product loss or delays, lower cost of shipping, faster delivery times, continuous improvement of shipping processes, and freight allocation. So what's the big picture? Well, Inbound and outbound freight costs can make up between 10 and 11% of revenue for companies with less than $250 million in sales. Meanwhile, big box competitors and retail giants see freight spend within 3% of total revenue. The difference derives from the ability of companies to leverage technology and information to drive freight spend down. But how? To answer that question, shippers must look within their operations to identify the biggest cost shipments and destinations and reevaluate their current freight allocation procedures. You see, the big box retailers have an advantage in using full truckload almost exclusively for shipments. They have the volume, including all omni-channel shipping options. This requires smaller companies, those in the 10 to 11% rate, to vary shipping options more to make better use of full truckloads. Obviously, shippers cannot predict the exact amount of product needed in every location, but if shippers could use technology, like a TMS, in conjunction with existing warehouse management technology like an integrated warehouse management system, or WMS, to understand their own products and market better, they could push the boundaries of prediction. Essentially, shippers could learn how to make better predictions, move product throughout their supply chains, and realize savings through freight consolidation, even when orders have not yet been completed, which in turn reduces total cost of ownership in transportation. Now that's it for this week's show. Got any questions we can answer? Use the comment section down below, and we'll answer them as soon as possible. And we'd love for you to engage with us here more often, and the way you can do that is to become a subscriber. So join Team Cerasis, hit the subscribe button, and after that, the little bell icon, so you get a notification either on your YouTube app or by your email address whenever we publish a new episode of Talking Freight each Friday. Want to get our information on social media, and you like to tweet, or maybe you follow a few folks on Instagram? Well, we're there too. We'd love for you to follow us, and we'd love to engage with you there on social media as well. Want to get our content right to your inbox? Maybe you like email over social media or subscribing to a channel on YouTube. Hey, we get that. Just go to Cerasis.com, scroll down about 50%, and you'll see a very similar box, the exact same box, in fact, as you're seeing now. Put in your email address, hit subscribe, and we'll make sure we send you all of our great content whenever we hit publish. And finally, thanks for joining us here on Talking Freight. We've really enjoyed putting out this weekly episode. Now, we're approaching 500 subscribers here on that Cerasis YouTube channel. That's awesome. We're creating an engaged community around people who want to just manage freight better. Or hey, maybe they just want some more information on some best practices so that they can do better at their job. At any rate, we're all in this together. With an extreme capacity crunch going on, it's kind of hard out there for all of us. So the more we collaborate, the better we're on our games, the more information we have available to us, the more powerful we can be. After all, knowledge is power. And we're all better when we work together. So that's it for this week. Our heartfelt thanks to you, the viewer. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you next week.